Welcome to The Other Opinion. This is the channel where we really don't shy away from those perspectives that are, well, sometimes a bit scary, maybe less talked about. Today, we are diving deep into something that's quietly but powerfully reshaping a whole industry. We're talking artificial intelligence and its massive impact on Indian cinema.
Yeah, and our insights for this deep dive. They're drawn from some really excellent excerpts from a piece called AI, Reshaping Indian Cinema, Controversy and Innovation by Sneha Bura and Mohua Das over at TNN. And to kick things off, let's jump right into something that really sent shockwaves through the industry, and fans too, actually, the re-release of the film Raanjhanaa, right, which is redubbed Ambikapathy for Tamil Nadu. Now, if you saw the original, you'll remember Dhanush's character, Kundan. Well, he met a pretty definitive end. But in this new AI-altered version, he survives. It caused like an absolute firestorm of outrage. And it immediately makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is this actually innovation? Is it pushing creative boundaries? Or is it just, I don't know, an unsettling intervention into the art itself?
That really is the core question, isn't it? And that's what we're here to unpack today. Our mission for this deep dive is to pull out the most important insights from this source material, really help you understand the profound ways AI is changing filmmaking. We'll look at everything, how it's maybe empowering independent creators, but also these crucial questions it raises about, authorship, consent, even what makes us feel a real connection with characters on screen anymore.
Okay, so let's go straight to the heart of that initial firestorm then.
Yeah.
The Raanjhanaa controversy. I mean, imagine settling in to watch a film you love, right? Only for a really pivotal, gut-wrenching moment to be completely rewritten by AI. That's exactly what happened with this 2025 re-release of Raanjhanaa, or Ambikapathy. So in the original 2013 film, Dhanush's character, Kundan, he dies. It's tragic, it's definitive, it shapes the whole story. But in this AI version, released just last Friday, he wakes up in a hospital.
Yeah. And Dhanush himself was reportedly furious. He said the AI stripped the film of its very soul. And the director, Anandel Rai, he didn't mince words either, called it utterly disrespectful. They did put a disclaimer in, saying, this new ending doesn't reflect the original vision, but honestly, it did very little to calm things down.
It's interesting, because altered endings, they aren't completely new in cinema. If you think back, there was the 1998 Malayalam film Hare Krishnans. That one famously had two different endings released. Basically, to appease the fan bases of its two huge stars, Mohanlal and Mammootty, Juhi Chawla's character chose one in one version, the other in the second. But, and this is the key thing, AI introduces something fundamentally different. This isn't a creative choice by the original team, maybe reacting to market demands or something. It's an external technological intervention. It sort of bypasses creative control and, crucially, the artist's consent. And that throws up this critical question. Who actually owns the artistic vision now in the age of AI? Is it just the original creator? Or does this technology, with its power to transform, introduce some new kind of collaborative ownership, even if it's completely unintentional?
That's such a crucial distinction.
Yeah.
Ownership. It really makes you think. So what about you listening? What are your other opinions on this? Do you see these AI-altered endings as like a creative evolution? Or is it just a betrayal of the original intent? Let us know down in the comments. And hey, while you're there, please remember to like this deep dive. Now, okay, as unsettling as that Raanjhanaa case might be, AI's role in Indian cinema isn't, all controversy and clashes. There is actually a really powerful, maybe less talked about side where it's being, enthusiastically embraced, especially in the earlier stages of filmmaking. We heard from Sanath PC. He's the co-founder of Firefly Creative Studio. They did VFX for huge films like Bahubali, the beginning. He says AI has completely changed their pre-production. Yeah. He explains, traditionally you'd write the story, script it, then visualize. But now AI jumps in right at the start, helping to conceptualize scenes, shots, characters, even locations before you even think about shooting.
Right. And a key takeaway there is how these AI tools are seriously cutting production costs. I mean, drastically, to the point where some studios are actually exploring fully AI-generated films now. Take Cinefe, for example. It's a Mumbai-based AI-powered content studio. The founder, Shivam Sharma, he was a screenwriter, an indie filmmaker himself, often struggling with, the usual budget and team size limits. He saw AI as this great enabler, basically, a way to bridge that gap. His perspective is pretty clear, he says. AI is a tool just like a camera or a pen that's available to everyone. It's really about democratizing the process, isn't it? Meaning smaller production houses, indie filmmakers, people who once needed massive budgets for VFX. They now have these incredibly powerful tools, literally at their fingertips. It really levels the playing field.
Right. It's not just talk either. Cinefe actually dropped an AI-generated Ramayana trailer not long ago. caused quite a stir. Some people were really impressed, loved the slickness, the scale it achieved, felt it opened up new possibilities. Others were a bit unsure. About gods and demons being, quote, conjured with code, definitely sparked conversation and debate.
Yeah, and Sharma is quick to clarify that point. While what you see on screen is AI-assisted, he stresses the production is still very much human-led. The ideation, the story writing, that's all him and his team. He believes they aren't replacing artists, they're empowering them. He even suggests AI storytelling will become its own kind of language in cinema. Like animation and live action became distinct languages over time. It's fascinating to think about that potential for AI to democratize filmmaking. Not by, lowering the quality bar, but by removing those traditional gatekeepers, letting innovative stories get told without needing typical studio budgets or access. But importantly, it still needs writers, directors, artists who know what they're doing. It's not just, pressing a button and out pops a movie.
That's a really powerful point. Sounds like Sharma's really advocating for a more collaborative future with AI. But what about the challenges? How do you make sure human creativity really stays in charge and isn't just feeding prompts to an algorithm?
Well, that's a totally valid concern. I think the challenge really lies in maintaining that creative oversight, right? If the human input is just a simple prompt and the AI does the rest, yeah, the vision could easily get diluted. But if the AI acts more like a sophisticated tool, a brush or a chisel, maybe amplifying the human artist's original intent, then it's a different story. So the responsibility really falls on the filmmakers to use AI discerningly, treat it as a tool, not, a replacement for their own vision.
Okay, and pushing things even further, beyond mythology or sci-fi, there's IntelliFlix Studios. They're an AI-led film studio based in Chandigarh, tech mentoring from Seattle. And they deliberately chose realism for their first project, Maharaja in Denims. Now, this story spans 3 different eras. Historically, that means huge production costs, just massive. But Gurdeep Pal, former Microsoft exec and co-founder there, says they've managed to slash the budget from an estimated 80 crore plus down to just over 5 crore, all thanks to AI. That is a huge shift in making complex stories financially viable. Stories that maybe wouldn't get made otherwise.
And if we connect that to the bigger picture, it absolutely raises that important question. Can audiences really connect with characters who aren't, flesh and blood? IntelliFlix put out 2 trailers for Maharaja in Denims. They give a glimpse of some pretty impressive realism, actually. One's a classic Bollywood song and dance number, really vibrant, sweeping, surprisingly precise movements. The second is more intimate, a flirtatious train scene, believable banter, easy chemistry. And Gurdeep Pal sees unfazed by those questions about audience connection. He argues, look, people talk to chatbots like friends, like therapists already. And if audiences got emotional watching Avatar, a film mostly with CGI characters, why not with characters generated entirely by AI?
That's a fair point, actually. Especially thinking about how immersive CGI worlds can be. But it's also true, AI isn't perfect yet, is it? There's a Mumbai-based filmmaker, Vivek Enkalia, working on his own AI feature called Naisha. He seems pretty clear-eyed about the current limits. He admits AI still struggles with subtle emotions, like a truly convincing cry, consistent eye contact, or those really specific, nuanced gestures we know from real actors, like that nose-tapping thing Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol did in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I can do broader actions, but those tiny human details, still a big challenge.
Yeah, and this brings us to a really crucial point about the evolving role of human performance in this AI-powered future. How do you get that nuance? Well, to tackle these limits, Antalya uses a hybrid approach. It builds on performance capture tech. So when the AI can't quite nail the emotional depth on its own, they bring in real theater actors. They record their performances, capture all that raw human emotion, and then map it onto the AI-generated avatars. So you get the real actor's performance driving the AI character. It gives those digital creations that much-needed depth. And he's using a whole suite of AI tools mid-journey for images, video platforms like Runway and Kling, text-to-video like Pika, Higgsfield, Luma AI, even Google's Veo. It shows just how diverse and specialized these tools are becoming.
Wow, okay, so moving beyond just the visuals, there's another really fascinating and equally contentious area, voice cloning. This isn't just theory either. We've seen actual real-world cases affecting major artists. The singer Arijit Singh filed a lawsuit against a company for unauthorized AI use of his voice and likeness. And huge stars like Amitabh Bachchan, Jackie Shroff, Anil Kapoor, Kumar Sanu, they've taken serious legal steps to protect their voices, their images. It's clearly a massive concern for artists protecting their identity, their livelihood.
It is. But what's quite remarkable here is seeing an ethical framework being built around these new capabilities. Specifically, ensuring consent is right at the forefront. So against this backdrop, you have M.G. Srinivas. He's a Kannada actor and director who founded AI Samhitha. His company uses AI for voice cloning in Indian films, and this is the crucial part, only after getting explicit consent from the artists. And imagine the potential here. Hearing Amitabh Bachchan's actual voice perfectly delivered in Tamil or Telugu for dubbed films, that's possible now, or Shiva Rajkumar's voice being kept across 5 languages in his film Ghost. Srinivas is clear, though. It's a layered process. A human still has to dub the film first, performing it perfectly for pitch, tone, pronunciation. Then the AI can accurately clone that performance. They're even working on automated lip sync for films like Pushpa to perfectly match the dubbed dialogue to the original lip movements. That's a huge leap for multilingual cinema.
Okay, and circling back to that Raanjhanaa mess, but from a legal angle, we heard from Imran Ali. He's a Delhi-based IP attorney. He highlights a major hurdle. India's current legal framework just isn't really equipped for these very specific AI scenarios. There's no law specifically about AI misuse like this. So filmmakers, artists, they have to fall back on existing copyright law, which, obviously wasn't designed for a world where AI can just effortlessly alter someone's original work.
Exactly. And this legal void leads us to this really crucial question about how we define authorship, how we define artistic integrity, when technology can fundamentally transform art, potentially without the creators, okay? This tension between tech and authorship, it's actually central to a 2024 British-Indian sci-fi film called IRH, directed by Sam Tatacharjee. The film's about a CEO whose app creates AI avatars for digital immortalization, right? But then the tech gets misused. Tatacharjee draws a direct line to Raanjhanaa, saying what happened there is exactly the ethical boundary we explore in IRH. His point is the tools themselves aren't the villain. It's how and why they're used that really matters. It puts the responsibility back on humans, not just blaming the technology.
Yeah, it's clear these issues are becoming more and more urgent. As the tech just keeps advancing faster and faster, it's forcing us to really rethink what art means, what creator means. Look, if you're finding this deep dive as fascinating as we are, please remember to subscribe to The Other Opinion. We love digging into these challenging perspectives. And please share this deep dive with friends, anyone interested in film, technology, ethics. Let's get those other opinions flowing. Okay, so to maybe try and summarize what we've uncovered in this deep dive, AI in Indian cinema, it really feels like a double-edged sword, doesn't it? On one side, it's this incredibly powerful tool. It's driving innovation, slashing production costs, potentially democratizing filmmaking by removing those old gatekeepers. But on the other side, it throws up these huge ethical, legal, artistic challenges, especially around consent, creative control, and just the basic integrity of original creative work.
Absolutely. The whole conversation is shifting so fast. It's really not about if AI will be used in filmmaking anymore. It's definitely about how and why it gets used. And it's certainly not some magic button that creates art on its own. It's a tool. It still needs immense human creativity, vision, critical thinking behind it. So the focus now really has to be on building robust ethical frameworks, demanding transparency, and crucially, figuring out how to protect artists and their original work as this technology just keeps evolving.
And that leaves us with a really provocative thought, actually, building on something Gurdeep Paul from Inteliflix mentioned. He asked, essentially, if people can get emotional watching Avatar, a film packed with CGI characters, why not with characters created entirely by AI? What actually defines a real connection in cinema anymore? It's a question that really challenges our old ideas about authenticity and engagement. This has been another deep dive from The Other Opinion, where we keep exploring those challenging perspectives you might not always find elsewhere. If you found this deep dive thought-provoking, please do hit that like button. Share your other opinions down in the comments below. We really want to hear them. And definitely subscribe to The Other Opinion for more insights that challenge how we think. And please don't forget to share this deep dive with your friends and family.
And just a final note, remember that this deep dive was an AI podcast aimed at providing information. Some of it might potentially be wrong or interpretations could vary. Always practice critical thinking and try to verify information yourself.